Manchester United won, Arsenal won, but Manchester United win on penalties in the FA Cup to play Leicester in the next round, and justice was served because Andy Madley, that was one of the worst refereeing performances I've ever seen. It makes you appreciate VAR. It was almost like today's game was an advert for why VAR was brought in, because that was horrific. Kai Havertz diving and he gives them a penalty, but you know what? Karma. Odegaard missed the penalty, Havertz missed the penalty later on in the match. And you know what? Manchester United absolutely deserved that. To play with 10 men for over 60 minutes away at the Emirates and put in that shift and level of performance, Manchester United deserve that. They deserve to go through. People can say they parked the bus, but they defended, they worked off the ball, and they even generated a few chances for themselves with Zirkzee, with Ahmad, when he maybe could have squared it to Collier there. Ruben Amorim sub spot on. Zirkzee came on, he held the ball well, had a really good game, scored the winning penalty. Toby Collier was covering ground, put in a shift. Amad Diallo, a little bit of retention there. Ruben Amorim's influence on the Manchester United squad is absolutely clear. So let's break down what we learned from the game, because we're going to talk about a few performances. Maguire and Ligt, again, monstrous. But Man City get Salford. Liverpool get Accrington. Chelsea get Morecambe. Spurs get Tamworth. Newcastle get Bromley. Well, we have to play 2 hours at the Emirates with, over an hour of that game being played with 10 men, and they practically had 12. And we put in that kind of performance at Anfield and at Emirates. To put in that kind of performance was amazing. And look, it wasn't an amazing performance. It wasn't pretty. We weren't generating loads of chances and outplaying them, but it was a performance which saw effort, which saw mentality, which saw desire, and that is the bare minimum. If you put a Manchester United shirt, the bare minimum is you give everything, you are disciplined, you do what the manager says, and that is what we saw today, and that is exactly what we needed. Because we played with 10 men for over 60 minutes. We stayed so disciplined. We defended set pieces much better. Arsenal could not break us down. They were playing for set pieces. The referee fell into it. Arsenal kept falling over on the floor every time we touched them because they were trying to win fouls so they could turn set pieces into chances, because Arsenal cannot break us down in open play because they're not that good without Bukayo Saka. The Ligt and Maguire put in monstrous performances. We needed them from the set pieces. Maguire, it felt like he won everything in the air. The Ligt to that clearance was unbelievable. Maguire, £80 million player, back free, England Maguire, he was there today, and I could not ask for more from those United players. Was it pretty? No. Was it difficult? Yes. Was I concerned at times? Yes. But they put in 110%. The referee was against them. Everything was against them today, and I am proud of Manchester United. I'm proud of Ruben Amorim. It was such a disciplined, well set up performance where we still even had chances in the match ourselves, and despite being down to 10 men, Arsenal could not dominate. They got a penalty which wasn't a penalty. They fairly missed that because it was never a penalty. They scored right away with equalising. Gabriel acting as if he'd won the game. But I tell you what, Ugarte, monstrous game. Collier comes on, puts an unbelievable shift. Bruno, brilliant goal, delivered a captain's performance. Other than losing his mind, throwing the shoe, which he shouldn't have done, but to be fair to him, it was a blatant foul. Gabriel Jesus injured himself, fouling Bruno, but the ref said there was no contact. How come Gabriel Jesus injured himself if there was no contact? Garnacho looked much better today. He got the ball. He was going to be limited to chances, but we've been criticising Garnacho for things like decision-making. He could have shot there. He could have been selfish. He played the perfect pass into Bruno Fernandes. Absolutely fantastic. Bayindir, I was being a bit critical of him in the first half, but that second half, unbelievable performance. Penalty save. It gave him a new lease of confidence. It really, really did. Never a penalty in Havertz. Blatant foul, Bruno not given. Leach given a soft yellow. Everything was against us. Away from home. Played over an hour with 10 men. They can cheat all they want. They can have the ref on their side all they want. Arteta will still think of an excuse. He'll probably blame it on the first goal should have been given for onside. Blah, 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 blah. And I don't like to sit here and talk about the refs because I want to talk about the game. I want to talk about performance. But it makes you appreciate VAR. This is what a Chelsea fan said. A genuine disaster class in the refereeing from Andrew Madley today. From the big decisions to the small decisions to totally losing any sense of authority and control over proceedings. It's been total chaos, and his presence is probably the most convincing ad for VAR. I said worst performance I've ever seen. That was probably an exaggeration. Makes me appreciate VAR. Never a penalty. The ref has done everything he can to gift Arsenal. He's fallen for all these dives and booked nearly all our players. Another Chelsea fan said this Arsenal versus United tie is an excellent showcase of why VAR is excellent. It's also a damning example of how poor the referees and PGMOL are. And the European lad who's an Ajax fan who likes to troll Manchester United said that United players should walk off the pitch. Disgraceful performance from the referee, and it was. But let's talk about the game. Let's talk in more detail about it, because I completely agree with what Adam had to say here. He said, I could be wrong, but today feels a good demonstration of what Manchester United fans want to see from their players. They haven't played a blinder, but it's more the fact that they fought and clawed their way through the stake of adversity. We want to see more of this. Anfield, Emirates, this effort level, we want to see more of this. And talking of monsters, talking of man of the match, my man of the match here is Harry Maguire. Look at these game numbers from Harry Maguire. 11 clearances, 5 shots blocked, 3 tackles, was not dribbled past, won 95% of all his duels. He won 7 out of 8 ground duels. It was an unbelievable performance from Maguire. Him and De Ligt were immense, because we were talking about the lack of mobility with De Ligt and Maguire, but we needed them in that game. And Euro was really good when he came on. Ligt had a really good game. But when you're down to 10 men, we were constantly under pressure. There was a lot of work to do. Maguire and De Ligt didn't get a break. Being down to 10 men is one of the hardest games as a centre-back, because you've got an extra person to keep an eye out for. You're under more press. And they were absolutely immense. They were alert. They did not lose concentration once. They played out from the back quite well, but we were going long. But the work they did off the ball, even with the set pieces, I don't know how many corners Arsenal had. It felt like 20 gazillion, trillion, billion. Honestly, they kept having corners and set pieces, and they couldn't break us down. They couldn't win the set pieces. It was fantastic from United today. Maguire in the air, £80 million performance, was absolutely standout. The back three showed true leadership, and it was never a penalty. That was a blatant dive. Maguire, fantastic. De Ligt, fantastic. What a performance today from those two. I'm so happy with that performance. So proud, because De Ligt did not have his best game versus Liverpool. He got done by Gakpo, but he really stepped up today. Really, really proud of the players. And this clearance from De Ligt was unbelievable. That is as good as a goal. That is as good as a goal. But I want to talk about a few more positive things. I want to talk about Joshua Zirkzee. And I like what H said here. Zirkzee, that's how you make something out of nothing. Playing selflessly as a midfielder off the ball, proper graveyard shift and making the most out of it. If he had a bit of speed, he'd be such a good outball runner when we play low. Zirkzee coming on was absolutely spot on, guys. It was absolutely the right decision. We needed someone that was going to drop deep into midfield, because we're down to 10 men, and sort of connect play and hold up the ball. And I think Højlund's hold up lacked at times. Zirkzee kept the ball really well. He made the most out of nothing in the graveyard shift. Actually ended up having, I think, 2 shots, was it, and getting involved. And I feel like in games when you are going to have to play a little bit deeper, Zirkzee is still an outlet. He can still offer things today. And I think hopefully people can see what Zirkzee offered today in that kind of game, the control, holding the ball. And I think we were only going to have limited chances in the attacking first. So to have Ahmed and Zirkzee as almost the 2 outlets in attack, just holding onto the ball, keeping it for us, using their technical ability to give us a bit of control there, that is what we needed. And everybody put in a shift today, and Zirkzee gets the winning penalty. And I'm really, really happy for Joshua Zirkzee, really happy for him, because he's been getting a lot of stick lately. I think people have gone a bit over the top with the criticism. I'm really frustrated with him, but it was great to see as well. And you know what I love to see was the way that Amorim trusted Collier over Casemiro today. Big call that was. But with 10 men, you need someone that's going to eat up ground. And Collier's numbers at United when it comes to running is only bettered by Bruno Fernandes. And Collier was eating up ground. Just the energy was everything that we needed. Everything that we needed. The ground coverage from Collier was unbelievable. And I think this guy here, I'm going to put it on the screen, summed up this Collier performance just how I would say it. Winning almost every aerial duel, loose ball, filling the back line without the ball, and when we had the ball, run like a mad dog to crash the box or create space for teammates. Aggression in ground duels, technically secure under pressure, while Collier take a bow. We don't talk about Collier as a in-possession guy, but he kept the ball really well. He did a really good job keeping the ball in possession, but it was the eagerness to crash the box, to create overloads in attack, get back. The amount of space he covered, the performance he put in off the ball, the positional awareness, it was a disciplined performance, and that really paid off, because Casemiro, he gives the ball away, he can't always cover the ground in those kind of games, and I think Casemiro and Eriksen will look at that and be looking for their moves away, because Ruben Amorim's put his faith in Collier, because he likes off the ball players, he likes players that give 100%. Agate was unbelievable. What a fight. What a performance from him. Bruno Fernandes showing up in another big game again for Manchester United, Liverpool, and today put in top performances in big games. And you know what? I'm just proud and I'm happy. We're through to the next round. We deserve to be through. The players must be exhausted, but we've got to take that into Southampton. We've got to beat Southampton. We've got to go and roll over Southampton and put in a performance. But I'm proud of the players. I want to see more of that. As Ruben Amorim said after the Liverpool game, he was fuming. He was fuming with the players after the Liverpool game because where had that effort been all season? So let's go and make sure we do that versus Southampton and not think it's going to be an easy game. Thank you everyone for watching. See you next time. Bye.